Every kid has a great story to tell. Have one? Well, we're listening. Send your best story to the New Indian Express's Bookworm Junior Summer Stories Contest, and you could just end up becoming an author over the summer. What are you waiting for? Get writing.
Hindustan Institute of Technology and Science. Take your first step toward a future in excellence.
Hi there and welcome. This is the 7th episode of the New Indian Express's Let's Debate. This is India's largest virtual inter-school debate competition. We've checked, so we're pretty sure of what we're saying. And we're so psyched to have all of you guys here with us. We have an entire house of debating champs. They're here from across the country and they've got some serious debating chops to display, and we're super excited to see what they have to say. Today, the motion that we're going to be debating is, of course, handwriting should be replaced by typing in schools all across India. That's right, that's the motion, and we have a house that's going to debate for handwriting and for typing, and we're going to see exactly what they've got on the table. Well, and to decide who the best of these speakers are, we have two very exciting judges with us. Join me in welcoming today. From outside, we have Aarti Katpalia. Aarti, of course, is the founder of Tickles and Tales, as you very succinctly might see on her Zoom handle. Aarti is a storyteller. She uses a lot of puppetry, and she has this very, very unique way of bringing together stories that children will absolutely love. They've been loving it for years, and I'm sure if you ever have the experience of sitting through one of her sessions, you'll find it extremely delightful. Thank you, Aarti, for being with us. All right. We also have with us from within the New Indian Express family, we have Vidya Iyengar. Vidya, of course, is based out of Bangalore. She's our Deputy City Editor for City Express in Bangalore. And she's done a lot of reporting across the board. She's done everything from politics to she's done healthcare. She's done so many things. She's written some fantastic Sunday features. And she's a journalist that most of us look up to. So thank you so much for being with us, Vidya. It's a real pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much, Daniel. I'm looking forward to.
Fantastic. All right, guys. Now that you know what the motion is, I think we're absolutely ready to get started. You know the order that we're following. So without further ado, let's debate. Let me invite today to speak for the motion our very first speaker, Vivan Mathur. Vivan, of course, is from Genesis Global School. Vivan, are you ready to go?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this debate. I'm Vivan Mathur, and today I will be speaking on the topic, we should replace handwriting with typing in schools. I would be speaking for the motion and giving you reasons why I feel it's high time that handwriting should be replaced with typing in schools. Handwriting is basically the writing which is done by hand using a pen and paper, while typing is the action or skill of writing something with the help of a typewriter or a computer. I understand that handwriting is a great way to get a record of things, convey ideas, and send messages to people, but I don't think it's the best. Back before computers and typewriters, people would handwrite things to get their notes written or their ideas conveyed. But now that the world has entered the technological age, handwriting is starting to become less than perfect. Typing is much more convenient and useful. If you happen to have bad handwriting, then typing can allow you to level the playing field. A study conducted by Linda R. Markham has shown that having bad handwriting can hurt your grades, even if it is not supposed to. In this study, several teachers were given each of 2 assignments and asked to grade it. Both of the assignments given out were the same. except one was written in better handwriting than the other. The assignment was supposed to be graded based on the content, not the handwriting. But the submission with the better handwriting tended to be graded higher than the one with bad handwriting. If this assignment was typed instead of written by hand, there would be no handwriting difference to worry about, and therefore the assignments would get the same grades. This is important because lots of times students cannot help bad handwriting, and I cannot agree more because I also fall in the bad handwriting category. Not only this, while doing your assignments and projects, typing helps us to be more efficient. We have autocorrections, text analysis, and even suggestions to rephrase what we wrote to sound better. Apps like Grammarly or Hemingway help us to adjust what we wrote, and they make sure that we use the right language always. Typing is also much easier to export and send to people. When you write a book or another piece of writing, you want to get someone's feedback. You have to put it through a photocopier or something similar and mail it to them or just hand it to them personally. Once they get it, if they want to make edits, they have to make it on their own copy and then get it back to you. Digitally, this process is much more simpler and quicker. If you type your document instead of handwriting it, then to show it to someone, you can just email it to them, or you can even use any other software to allow people to edit your document directly. Typing is just so much more convenient. Talking about children, in today's society, keyboarding is an important skill for all children to learn, but it is particularly important for children with motor coordination difficulties. With support and appropriate instruction, even young children with coordination difficulties can learn to be very expert typists. The computer can open a world of possibilities for learning and for success at school. All in all, typing has many advantages over handwriting through many different areas. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vivan. That was a very spirited talk of yours, and I'm very happy that you got to open things. Can I invite Shruti Sneha to make the first comments for the against group? Shruti, are you good to go?
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
You're perfectly audible, Shruti. So go ahead, Shruti. You're talking to us from DAV Vedanta School.
This is Shruti Sneha from DAV Vedanta International School. So, here to say a few words on the given topic, we should replace handwriting with typing in school, and I am against of it. Humans, since the day they are born, are made to learn walking, eating, speaking, and other such activities so that they can be independent in their life. Learning to write is also a fundamental skill which allows them to be more independent in life. The idea that we should replace handwriting with typing in schools sounds fancy, but learning to write is also a fundamental activity in school, which sounds fancy, but is immensely impractical. Now let's know about what. Do you remember writing? Do you remember the mental exercise you get while writing a letter A in your notebooks again and again? The most research has been done in this topic, which says when kids produce more ideas when they write by their hands, and these handwritten letters are more convenient and thoughtful. Now think, can you type everywhere? How can you celebrate your mother's birthday special without writing wishes on the cake? Would you like it when your favorite celebrity says that he or she can't give you an autograph because they could not write? Learning to write makes you more independent. On the other day, my brother, who always works on a laptop, was on a call with his colleague, and he wanted to note down a number. But at the same time, his laptop was dead, and he could not note down the number, and I helped him to note down the number. But what if my school didn't teach me to write? Technology is expensive, especially in a country like India, where kids cannot even afford to eat and buy books. Replacing handwriting with typing in schools would make them extremely detrimental with their learning. Now, you all may have a thought that it can happen at least with urban schools, but what about the people who move from villages to cities for a literate job? Can they easily find one when typing is norm? Can they easily find one that this will increase the inequality between the sections of society? This will increase the inequality between the sections of society, which is already happening with English. No matter how good the ruler person is, but he can never get a job when he can't speak English. This is called butterfly effect. I want to end the speech with the conclusion that we should teach children both the handwriting and typing, which would balance the nature and the life perfectly, and students can know about both the worlds. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Shruti. I must confess I never thought about celebrities and autographs until this argument ever came about. Thank you so much for that, Shruti. Could I now invite Anjali Menon to speak for the motion? Anjali, if you're ready to go. Anjali, of course, is from Blooming Buds Bethania English School.
Good afternoon, respected audience and my worthy opponents. Let's take a scenario. My smarter opponents and I submit our assignments to a teacher. The matter is same, but mine is typed while theirs is handwritten. Which do you think will be more impressive? Of course, mine. Because here, the teacher is saved from the task of trying to decipher and guess the variations and nuances of my handwriting. So, my dear opponents, typing will give me a level playing ground wherein the neatness of the assignment scores higher. A bright child ending up with poor grades just because of bad handwriting. That's not fair. They say that handwriting is a reflection of one's personality. But is it not a straight giveaway? Even before seeing a person, is it right to form an impression of him or her? Better just the hand and not the handwriting. Anne Trubek, author of The History and Uncertain Future of Handwriting, says that typing is faster and easier to learn. Children exposed to typing from an early age are learning to type faster than they could write and to type without looking at the keys. No wonder then that countries like Finland have switched from handwriting lessons to typing courses. In fact, with almost all written communication getting online these days, learning typing in schools gives a child a head start. Typing is much easier to export and send to people. If you type a document instead of writing it, you can share it with people all around the world via email. They can edit the document and even send it back to you. Typing is so much more convenient. Being keyboarded makes it easy for all to understand. It is said that 95% of manuscripts cannot be read by an average person because of the beauty of the handwriting. My opponents may argue that handwriting is more intimate and personal, but there are different ways to show your intimacy. Send a box of chocolates instead. While typing, you can change the page layout, switch font styles, set margins, etc., which will remain consistent throughout the document. In case of changing a point, typing is much faster. No rubbing or wasting an entire page. Just edit it. That's it. Handwriting is a romantic idea, a form of art, a tradition, and a basic skill. But then, from stone cutting to manuscript to email, man and his ways are an ever-evolving phenomenon. No wonder that handwriting, like many other skills, is dying a slow death. Let's all accept it rather than make it into a tragedy. True, the pen is mightier than the sword. The only difference here is that the hand in handwriting is losing out to the key. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was very, very vociferously done. Thank you so much, Anjali. May I now invite our next speaker, Sanidhya O'Neill, to also speak for the motion. Sanidhya, if you're good to go, the floor is yours when you hear the ding.
Communication is a skill that you can learn. It's like riding a bicycle and typing. If you're willing to work at it, you can improve every part of your life. Well said by Brian Tracy. With this quote, today I, Sanad Dhaonial from grade 7, representing Army Public School, will speak in the favor replacing handwriting with typing in school. Typing is environment friendly as it saves number of trees being used in the paper making industry. According to a global data, around 80,000 to 160,000 trees are cut down each day, with a significant percentage being used in the paper industry. 17 trees are cut down to produce 1 ton paper. Paper industry is not only responsible for water pollution, but is also accounted for air pollution. Shifting to computer typing can save our earth from this environmental havoc. Since notebooks are perishable, knowledge cannot be preserved in it. But knowledge typed in the computers can be saved forever. A calligrapher with good ideas always gets misinterpreted, but typing levels up the field and removes the error of getting misinterpreted. Moreover, computer itself corrects the spelling and language of the typed material. This is not only convenient, but is also time-saving. These advantages of typing over handwritten data has revolutionized the world. Change for betterment is a natural process. The early humans wrote on the cave's wall with hands using granite. Then on the leaves known as bhojpatra. Invention of papers completely outdated the bhojpatra, and now the new era is of computers. So in spite of raising impediments on it, I think we should welcome the new gadgets of typing. This is what we did in the past, and let us do it now for a better tomorrow. Typed data are more easily transferable as compared to the handwritten data. This is not only convenient, but is also time-saving. In the conclusion, I would like to say that although before the technological advancements, writing was indeed a better alternative, but since as the time has progressed, and so must we. And therefore, I strongly believe that pen is no longer mightier than the keyboard. So ladies and gentlemen, I believe typing is better than writing. Same as the work of the needle cannot be done by the sword. Similarly, typing is far much better than the writing. To be very honest, we are fed up of writing. We are a good typer. So I kindly request my teachers to give us a break. Have faith in us and elders to chill pill. We will prove the young generation is no less than our elders. Thank you and have a marvelous day ahead. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, Sanadhya. The pen is not mightier than the keyword, a statement that journalists will always be afraid of and SEO guys will be extremely happy to hear. Okay, our next speaker is Sai Sharan to speak against the motion, please. Sai, of course, is joining us from Gitanjali Senior School. Sai, yes. If you're good to go, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sai Sharan Ballapuram, and today I am going to prove that typing is not suitable for students. Typing versus writing. This heated battle has been going on since the beginning of the 21st century. Typing, whether through word processors like Word or even through emails, has impacted in a revolution in the human society, especially for people with an unreadable handwriting. From centuries, though, writing has done its job, ensuring that people know about the world they are living in. Though writing some points down helps you remember these points longer, it is proven that typing words is faster and you can make less errors as compared to writing the same on paper. Writing helps you to understand what you are writing better, while most of the times typing can make your words more appealing through edits. In many situations, it is agreed that typing is superior to writing with a pen and some paper, like writing an important document, while in times when you need to take down quick notes in certain places, the latter is more effective. Though, when coming to students, this argument of typing taking over writing is more controversial. People first started writing to ensure that the people of the next generation learned the things they invented and discovered. First, inscriptions on stones, then to markings on papyrus reeds, and now to ink on paper. Writing has done its job, ensuring that people know about the world they are living in. I believe writing should not be replaced by typing for students learning in schools. Though I believe typing should be used and in institutions where necessary, this does not apply for students in school. Typing should not replace writing because of quite a few reasons. A. The equipment required for typing would be an electronic gadget like a laptop or a computer or sometimes even a tablet or phone. A typewriter would be ruled out immediately because it is too tough to write with, especially for school children. Not all students, especially those who are underprivileged, will be able to afford these writing instruments. Too much time in front of these gadgets will also result in the damage of the eyes and will cause health problems. And a few students may even get distracted by opening unnecessary tabs. The autocorrect feature will automatically correct any mistakes made. This will make the student over dependent on the laptop and will reduce his or her verbal skills. Writing notes by hand generally improves your understanding of the material as it is a slower process and it involves a deeper cognitive processing of the material you have written than typing it. This has been proven by the University of California and the Princeton University. Writing is also proven to help you remember what you have written for a longer period of time. It also boosts creativity, patience, and is even proven to boost critical thinking and helping in identifying out of the box ideas and solutions for the problems that arise. Nelson DeMille, who is a famous author, once said, I like the process of pencil and paper as opposed to a machine. I think that writing is better when it's done in handwriting. Like him, I too believe writing and or penmanship increases the creativity of students. Even though typing helps students to write with quality and quantity, it deprives them of proper learning and enhancement of their own abilities because of the reasons I just mentioned. This said, typing should be used by everyone in times needed, but not replace writing for students. As you can see, the disadvantages of typing and the advantages of writing outweigh the vice versa. So I conclude that typing is a much better option for students than typing. Thank you.
That was fantastically clear, Sai. I must congratulate you on that. Thank you so much for those illuminating comments. Madan, if you're back and if your signal is stable, can I invite you to speak now?
Yes, sir.
All right, the floor is yours when you hear the beep.
I am Madan from Hindustan International School, and today I will be speaking about the topic: should handwriting be replaced by typing in schools? And I say yes. J.K. Rowling, who's a famous author, once told that I had an old typewriter but a big idea. People generally tend to type faster than write. When notes are typed, it is more clear and people will most likely to be able to read them. Typing notes makes it easier to add, remove, or delete any items in the content. Unlike our hand, keyboard never gets tired, so we can write as much as information we want. A study conducted has shown that handwriting can hurt our grades. An assignment was given to three students. The student with the better handwriting got better grades than the other two students. But if the same handwriting was typed, the grades would have been based on the content and not by the handwriting. So, we also cannot lose the content when we type. So, when we write on a paper and pen, we might sometimes lose them. But when we type, we cannot lose them and it will always be saved on the device, such as laptops. Lots of people say that handwriting is better than typing because it enhances some memory power. Although this is true, it takes a very slow process and we might miss some important points while we are writing the notes when teacher is teaching. But when we type, we can type faster and quicker and we can note all the important points. So typing is much more efficient and quicker than writing. Touch typing will also improve our memory and enhance our brain power because it is a mental activity that engages most parts of our brain. Touch typing also helps us activate new memory muscles and build more active and strong cognitive connections that in turn will enhance our overall brain function and capacity. Nowadays, we are in lockdown due to the COVID virus, and we all attend classes online and type using laptops. So, typing is much more efficient and quicker than writing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was really great. Could I now invite our last speaker today, Amir Ahmed. Amir, of course, is from Bodhi School in Trivandrum, but he's talking to us from Thrissur, he said. Amir, if you're good to go, floor is yours.
Hello everybody, my name is Amir Ahmed and today I would like to say about typing. I would strongly support in introducing typing instead of handwriting. In this modern era, technology is the future and most IT professionals need to be highly skilled in typing. WPM or words per minute is a measure of words produced in a minute. When it comes to handwriting, the average words per minute of a person is 13. But when it comes to typing, an advanced typist can even work at speeds above 120 words per minute. This is a huge difference. In this generation, time management is one of the greatest keys to success. And schools are a platform where people mold young minds by making them enlightened. In a platform like that, typing would be extremely suitable and would make children efficient in surviving and controlling the next generations. Typing is not just about better handwriting and bad handwriting and good handwriting. It has other advantages also. Handwriting involves the usage of paper, which in turn causes deforestation, and deforestation leads to soil erosion. While typing does not involve in any harming of nature, and typing is extremely essential when our work includes formatting. India is trying to be smarter digitally, and India is trying to add an E in whatever it provides, just like e-commerce, e-governance, and e-learning. And introduction of typing in all schools can be also termed as an introduction of computers in all schools. And internet can make these schools much more recognized. And typing is something that can be stored for longer periods of time, while handwriting in paper may get spoiled easily. Handwriting and typing can improve your vocabulary, but our spellings can be improved only by typing with the usage of spell checks. Typing can be the ideal cure of children suffering from dysgraphia and dyslexia. Several physicians recommend this too. Handwriting for a long time can be absolutely fatiguing, but as typing saves much more time, we can type without being exhausted. If we begin to teach young minds using typing, they have a future in various sectors of opportunities. Some of them are journalism, subtitling, coding, and editing. Typing helps us improve our focus, and for typists, it becomes a cognitive skill. It becomes riding like a bicycle. You don't really think about what you are doing when you type. As a result, working with a keyboard becomes a task in which there is no need to invest any mental energy. Our mind is left free to process any other information. In India, education is mandatory for all children. And with the introduction of typing, no one will go jobless. A child who learns to type will have an assertiveness to use technology freely. Typing is more than a work skill. It's a life skill. With the right typing accuracy, children can save hours of time. Typing will increase the keyboarding abilities of a child, which will result as a bonus in collaborating and researching. The pen and paper has started to move out. And let's conclude that typing is the future.
Thank you so much, Amir. I learned a new word there, keyboarding. Keyboarding is a word that I'm going to carry with me for a while. I quite like the usage. Let me give all of you a round of applause. We've just come to the end of our initial comments, and I think everybody did extremely well. Thank you so much for that, all right? Now, before we quickly run to our next round, let me just remind you that you do have the option to pass if you don't have a rebuttal to make. but do remember we're giving away an award for the best rebuttal, and it might just have a little bit of it might have a little bit of an effect on your marks. So, it's probably in your best interest to make that rebuttal. But remember, we aren't here to point fingers, we aren't here to pick a fight, we're here to debate. So let's do just that. Yes, Amir, you have a question? So to kick off our rebuttals, let me now ask Vivan Mathur, do you have a rebuttal to make?
I have a question for my fellow opponent, Sai. So, Sai, you said that handwritten notes help you remember things. But what if you lose your notes or you forget where you wrote something which was needed in an important assignment? I also have a question for Shruti. So, Shruti, you said that handwritten messages convey feelings. But don't you think what would have happened during the pandemic, where many children are living far away from their parents? Can handwritten letters still be delivered during the pandemic?
But pandemic would always be not in this world, right? Pandemic will end at least after a year or 2 years later.
All right. And Shruti, do you have a rebuttal to make as well, because it's your turn?
One of the persons said that unlike our hands, keyboard never get tired. But every device runs on a limited amount of battery. So now you don't want to depend on a device so much that you won't perform your activities when it's dead. So it's this much, sir.
All right. Thank you very much, Shruti. Anjali, do you have a rebuttal for us?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Good afternoon, all. One of the opponents mentioned that handwriting improves memory, but then when a child is taking down notes, typing allows a child to take down more points, and hence he will be able to get more knowledge, which will also, if he revises, increase his memory. And another opponent mentioned that typed messages cannot express feelings like handwritten messages. But when we are typing from our heart itself. So it is original and will convey the heartfelt message that we are sending, according to me. And so I strongly believe that handwriting should be replaced with typing, because we need to cope up with the changing times in day-to-day life, and it's time to leave behind handwriting and move on towards typing. Thank you.
Well, that's very well put. Can I now ask Sanidhya if you have a rebuttal to make?
Yes, I wanted to ask that how can handwriting develop stronger conceptual understanding than by typing?
And is that all you have as a rebuttal? Just one question?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. So we'll ask somebody from the opposition, maybe Sai, to answer that a little later. Sai, do you have an answer to that, considering you're from the opposition?
Yes, sir. Sir, actually before that, one of my co-participants, Vivan Matan, pointed out that if you lose your books, then you will have trouble learning. But then you will have to be responsible. So handwriting will also help you upgrade your responsibility. And all this revolves around long-term effects and the short-term effects. The short-term effect will be that with typing, you will be able to finish your work faster. But the long-term effect is you will have to say goodbye to your proper eyesight sooner or later, because you cannot sit in front of the gadgets for a very long time. And also another person pointed out that writing causes deforestation. But if you see, you cannot sit in front of the laptop for a long time, so you will have to take printouts, and that also needs paper. And then about how it helps in improving your conceptual ability, because it is a slower process. You will have to stress on every word you write. So as you do that, you will be able to remember each and every word you write. So that will help you improve your conceptual ability by remembering what you have written for the longer period of time. And then one of my other co-participants, Sanidhya, said that you will not be able to maintain books for a very long period of time. But I would just like to tell one point, that the oldest book ever found has been preserved for 14,000 years. Thank you.
Which you definitely can't say for the oldest computer, because I don't know if it's still alive, honestly. Anyway, let me now ask Madan. Madan, do you have a rebuttal to make?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
One of the participants, Shruti, asked that unlike hand, keyboard can never get tired. But what is the device's battery goes down. So it isn't always compulsory to not put your device to charge. So we can easily just put the charge to the device and continue typing how much ever we want. And also, when we are writing long notes, it takes a lot of time, but we can easily type faster and complete the notes faster.
Thank you so much, Madan. And finally, Amir, do you have a rebuttal to make?
First, I would like to start with Sai's question that he had asked about deforestation. Means usually not whatever we type, we don't print it always. And whatever we write, we use paper. And paper involves deforestation. That's what I meant. And I have questions to ask also. I would like to politely ask Madan that he had said, unlike our hand, keyboard does not get tired. I want to repeat that also because it's not an actually correct comparison, because he is comparing with a keyboard and a hand. He should actually compare it with a keyboard and a pencil or a pen. And my next one is that Sai has said that typing is much more suitable. He has said that handwriting is much more suitable when they take down notes quickly. I had said about WPM, which is meant that words per minute. So it actually says that we can take much more notes quickly if we use typing. And Shruti had asked if we can. Shruti had said about that we cannot use computers in rural areas and all. And I have something to say that nowadays, if we are using computers in rural areas, it is like a part of development. And India is a developing country. And nowadays also in northern parts of India, there are some rural areas that have fully connected Wi-Fi too. So I want to say that. That's all.
Thank you so much. All right. Since he said something there, Sai, would you like to respond to anything that he said?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Actually, he said that writing is faster. I agree that writing is faster in certain situations, but also you mentioned that the professionals can write 130 words. But I don't think many of the students are professionals, and most of the students can write more than 13 words in a minute. As you said before, they can write more than 13 words. And coming to deforestation, you will not be taking printout of all the words you have written, but you will have to take a few because of the reason I just said before about your eyes. So still that requires paper, and you cannot and at least the deforestation, if it happens, it is going to be very minimalistic. But if it does happen, it is going for a cause of education, which will help people in their future, and will also help in future generations, because education is important.
All right. And before we know, I'm not going to do that because we're not going to let this descend into a verbal slugfest, but we will take this argument offline some point if we really need to, and I find it extremely thrilling. Thank you so much, everybody. You guys have been great. I'm going to give you a hand of applause right now, and I think all of you everybody here, should give everybody else a huge round of applause, because I think you guys spoke really well. It's not easy to talk about typing with a lot of love, because I don't think anybody actually likes typing as well. You probably don't like writing either, but I don't think these are two things that anybody actually loves doing. It's a part and parcel of our life these days. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to ask Seema to get on the phone with our two judges, Vidya and Narthi, and they're going to quickly decide who our three category winners are. Now, which three categories are these? Well, we are giving away 3 awards today. 1 for the best point made, 2 for the best rebuttal made, and 3 for our most inventive, innovative or humorous speaker. That's right. We're giving away these 3 awards and 3 super cool prizes to go along with them. We won't be announcing the winner and the runner-up of this debate right now, because as I've told some of you earlier, we have an online voting component, and this debate will be airing on the 15th of April at 6 p.m. and our voting lines will be open for 48 hours after, so you should send it to all your friends and your family and everybody on the internet to vote for you, and hopefully that component will help you along with the judges' marks to get through to our grand finale, which is on the 28th of April. All right. So hang on right there. Our judges are on a call right now and they will be with us in 2 minutes to give us their comments and the 3 awards away. All right. So hang in there, guys. Are we good with the results?
Yes, we're all set. If Aarti is here, we're ready to announce them.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Why don't you say a few words to the kids about how they did and then we can get to it.
Good afternoon, everyone. Many congratulations to all of you. First of all, each of you was fantastic. You all raised very pertinent points and they were relevant, well-researched and presented lucidly. So some of them, I thought Anjali made a point about forming an impression even before meeting a person based on their handwriting. That was an interesting comment. And I think there were others who said there was this over-dependency on gadgets. This is particularly relevant when we're talking about virtual communication fatigue in these times. And there were others, the rebuttals were excellent and all of you all were great while thinking on your feet. So all the best, and I hope you get many such opportunities like this one to perfect your public speaking skills and debating skills.
Thank you so much, Vidya. That was fantastic. Aarti, would you like to say a few words to the kids about how they did?
First of all, congratulations. You guys have done a wonderful job. We've thoroughly enjoyed the whole session, and I think as adults we had so many new things to learn from all of you, so thank you so much for giving your beautiful insight and all the lovely information that you all have worked on, and we are very excited to have all of you and can't wait to tell you all the results.
So who's going to be doing the announcement? Aarti, is it you or Vidya? You guys doing it jointly?
First, the finest point contestant winner is Sai Sharan.
Congratulations, Sai. What you do get is you get yourself a 1,000 rupee voucher from our gift partner Link Pens, and I hope you use that to make many a fine point. Congratulations, Sai.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, and our second counter strike contestant winner would be Amir Ahmed. Congratulations, Amir.
Congratulations, Amir. You also get yourself a 1,000 rupee voucher from Link Pen. I hope you enjoy stationery as much as the rest of us do.
We had one more category, which is the lighter side, and Vidya ma'am and me agreed upon Vivan. Congratulations, Vivan.
Congratulations, Vivan. That's phenomenal.
I'm giving you this prize only that you promise that you're going to work on your handwriting.
Yeah, ma'am, I'll definitely do that. I'll definitely.
My entire team would like me to make that promise, but I solemnly swear I can't do that. I wish I could, but I don't think that's going to work. But congratulations, Vivan. You get yourself a 1,000 rupee voucher from Link Pen as well. And I hope that you really use that to improve your handwriting. Buy pens, write with pens.
I'll buy some new pens so I improve my hand.
Buy some new pens, write with some new pens. All right. Anyway, but remember, nobody's a winner, nobody's a loser. Everybody is phenomenal. This debate has been absolutely scintillating. We had a great time. I hope you guys all had a great time. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you very much, Vidya. Thank you very much, Aarti, for doing this for us. Remember, this debate is going to air on the 15th of April at 6 p.m. Our voting lines will be open, so do remember to send it to all your friends and family. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the New Indian Express's Let's Debate. I'd like to thank our sponsors and partners, Hindustan Institute of Technology and Sciences and MEIL, for making this happen. We hope you have a great time. Happy thinking, happy debating. Take care, stay safe, everybody. Remember, you can vote for your favorite debater right here at www.edexlive.com/debate. Remember, every vote counts. Our voting lines are open for 48 hours, so get voting right now. This debate was brought to you by the Hindustan Institute of Technology and Sciences and MEIL. Every kid has a great story to tell. Have one? Well, we're listening. Send your best story to the New Indian Express's Bookworm Junior Summer Stories Contest, and you could just end up becoming an author over the summer. What are you waiting for? Get writing.